What is up, DTube Steam blockchain? So today I want to talk a little bit about fear, or something I'm gonna call fear of missing out movement, especially in the blockchain crypto space. It's really interesting when you follow this sort of industry on a day-to-day basis, and you sort of see how everyone has their own angle of looking at things. And this fear of missing out movement, maybe we saw it the most clear on maybe a little bit larger mainstream scale late 2017. This movement where a lot of people are coming in and a lot of people feel the so-called FOMO, fear of missing out. After that, I mean, that ended kind of fairly quick. It lasted a couple of months at the highest peak of intensity, but then it kind of died down in 2018, late 2018, and 2019 was a very, very calm year. Now we are in the beginning of 2020s, but it seems like there's going to be some form. I don't think the next so-called fear of missing out movement is going to play out exactly the same way as the last time, because history only rhymes. It doesn't 100% repeat itself, and it's really interesting, this aspect where we can measure a lot of things right now. So a lot of people, in some ways, they want to play out this story. They want to have a fun time. They want to have a nice experience. So maybe they exaggerate things a lot. For example, a lot of people maybe want someone to buy exactly their coin because it's like limited time period, something cool can happen, right? But then you consider things, and you consider, but okay, but every generation has been getting wealthier than the previous generation. So this idea of, sure, you do have in a way scarcity of opportunity, but in many ways also you always have like new better things sort of always sort of coming in the future. So for example, a lot of people, they say, for example, maybe about Bitcoin or something like that, that wow, there's a major opportunity now, and in the future it's going to be too late. But what they sort of fail to realize in many ways is those people in the future, they're probably going to find something even better, and have even larger opportunities. If we consider that if we have the biggest opportunities now than ever existed, it seems like future generations are gonna have even bigger opportunities and even better opportunities, stuff that we can't even imagine right now. So it's really interesting to observe the fear of missing out movement in some ways, where, yeah, I mean, people really want to play out this story of something amazing happen. And I'm a super huge fan of the long tail aspect of crypto. How you It's way more interesting to see what you can do on a consistent basis, and and you start to consider this aspect of how technology speeds things up so much that what used to take 30 years can now be done in 5 years. And it's really, really hard for humans to understand that kind of exponential growth and movement. Same as it's very, very hard to imagine Bitcoin going from a very, very small, insignificant amount to the high amount it has now. So I did some measurement from the lowest point of Bitcoin and to the highest peak of Bitcoin, and I think it was a 32 million x in value. And these are these are like numbers. They're so hard to grasp or imagine, because we are very much more like linear thinkers. So it's almost impossible for people to conceive or like get a visual representation or an idea of what that sort of number means, because in many ways in an exponential curve you can have 5 years of horror, and then in 1 second all of that changes, and all of those years were worth it because something paid off suddenly. So it's kind of interesting to see that aspect of fear of missing out movement, where it seems like people still consider it in a scarcity based way, where they believe in some ways in like scarcity opportunities. And yes, opportunities in a way is scarce, but it's like if there was only like amazing opportunities right now just for you, then future generations would forever like live in poverty. And of course we know that that's not really how it plays out, because it's like, okay, so you think that people that are maybe born this year, I mean, of course they're probably not even gonna have a job. Like they're probably not even gonna have to think of a lot of nonsense that we are thinking right now in 20 years. So stuff that we think is like super huge, measure some numbers on a screen and stuff like that, future generations are probably never even going to consider that a thing. It's very interesting how stuff that previous generation usually thought was a thing or like something big in that generation, the next generation don't really find that interesting at all. And it's kind of interesting to sort of see how that come and goes in the way humans are looking at things. And yeah, I mean, especially this year, I sort of see like people really want to do this like big fear of missing out thing. And in many ways, in some ways, maybe it's a little bit fun, like because people are a little bit playful about it. But when you see the long tail, and when you see like, if you imagine a person that is maybe age 25, and maybe we're gonna live now to 100 or 110 years, that's many years, okay? Like, even if you imagine, let's say, a 50-year-old now, that's not really that old compared to back in the days when people sort of died at age 30. Now age 50 is like, oh, you're just midlife. So, and with technology, I mean, it's gonna make it even more obvious. For example, in 20 years, you may not even have a human doctor that you may not even have human doctors that do stuff, because maybe just artificial intelligence robot can do better operations, and that's more efficient, and that works better, higher success rate and all of this. And then people may even live even longer. So how is it gonna be when people live super long, and people trying to play out these concepts of fear of missing out? But there's always like new things that comes up, right? Always new opportunities, and the way we can see things, it seems to be, a lot of better opportunities. Of course, yeah, things change, but especially with Bitcoin, for example, you have this like huge fear of missing out movement. While I think with the Steam community, they are a little bit more laid back, a little bit more chill. And I think one of the main reasons why Steamians are a little bit more chill is, I think it's because many of them are earning Steam tokens daily. So it's almost like they're getting streamed digital tokens on a daily basis. So they can always, let's say, increase their position in whatever crypto now they find exciting. And just because probably this industry will at least 10x eventually somewhere down the line, that means that in some ways, someone that gets streamed digital tokens right now, they already have like 10x more value in theory when stuff goes up, and if you look at it from on a long enough time scale. So I think that makes Steamians in a way. I think that they gravitate a little bit away from the fear of missing out thing. Yeah, Steamians did that a lot in 2018. And it may come back if like price goes super high, but the way it is right now, it seems like a lot of Steamians are kind of, they realize really the long tail, and they're really okay with earning a couple of tokens here and there. and a lot of them don't really seem to like maximize with like maybe like a lot of Steam whales, they can do like 10 votes a day, and many of them do 5 votes or sometimes maybe 3 votes per day, because I think also they also realize like the long term aspect of all of this. So and I also think that the more dividends people are getting from digital games like EOS Dynasty, when they're being streamed tokens from digital games or digital social thing that they're doing, they have all these like passive income streams that I think that they are really gonna realize that it's more about building an inclusive ecosystem, and that there really is enough to go around. So that's going to be interesting to sort of see how it plays out. But yeah, it's going to be fun to see how this industry plays out. Yeah, have a great day, DTube and Steam blockchain. Bye bye.